Welcome everybody to our fourth lecture in semester 3, week 33. In this lecture, we're going to cover a new phonics lesson with a new comprehension, a lesson, vocabulary words, and the skill. Okay, in this lecture, we will introduce the topic, the big topic orally also. I will introduce for you, and you're going to participate with me while introducing the new theme. You will identify main idea and key details for a text or a paragraph. You will identify the genre, which is something not new for you, something that you have covered before. In phonics, you will be able to identify words with the closed syllables, and you will read the words with the closed syllables correctly. Okay, for your resources for this lecture are the ISI Phonics Booklet Part 2, pages 12 to 20, which is related to your phonics lesson only. For the comprehension and the vocabulary words, you're going to have your reading, writing workshop book, pages 192 to 197, and worksheet 3, semester 3. Okay, are you ready? Let's start. So we're going to move step by step. First of all, we're going to introduce the phonics. Then we're going to introduce the vocabulary words with the theme, then the genre, and at the end we will introduce the skill, main idea, and key details. Start with the phonics, closed syllables. What do we mean by closed syllables? What do we mean by syllables even? First of all, in its simplest form, a closed syllable is a vowel followed by a consonant. First of all, if you notice that I have talked before about it, that every part in a word that has a vowel letter and makes a sound, it makes a unit, then it makes a syllable. A closed syllable, when we want to say that the syllable is closed, we say that it's a vowel letter followed by a consonant. And the consonant is among the units that the vowel letter makes. Example, cap, sit, and up. Cap, sit, up. I have vowel letter followed with a consonant. So the consonant closes the vowel letter, which closes the syllable. It's called a closed syllable because the vowel is closed in. You see, it's closed in by a consonant letter. It's trapped, we can say. In closed syllables, the vowel usually says its short sound. Mostly in the closed syllables, the vowel sounds have short sounds. More than one consonant can be used to close in a syllable, as in dish and stretch. If you notice here in these two words that the vowel letter is closed with more than one consonant letter, then it's okay. Okay, I might have more than one consonant letter to close in the vowel letter to make it in a closed syllable. Many multisyllable words, when we say multisyllable words, we mean words that have more than one syllable, contain closed syllables such as insect, rabbit, napkin. If you notice in insect, I have N, I, and sect. I have the I and the E. They are closed syllables. Rabbit, rabbit. I have two closed syllables. Napkin. I have two closed syllables. Now, dividing multisyllabic words with the closed syllables. Let's see how we can divide the multisyllabic words with the closed syllables. It's easy to break a multisyllabic word into syllables and read it when the word is made up of all closed syllables. Simply follow the syllable division rules using words with only closed syllables. Let's see what these rules say. First rule, if there is only one consonant between two vowels, okay, you have to try splitting two ways. Before the consonant, which will make the first syllable open with a long vowel, as in even, open. Okay, here notice that in these two words I have two vowel letters. Between them I have one consonant letter. So this consonant letter, which vowel letter it closes? So we split it between the first vowel and the consonant, as in even. And the first one makes a long sound. The second vowel letter then makes a short sound. Even, open. Or you split after the consonant, making the first syllable closed with a short vowel. Example, solid, solid, pivot, novel. Okay? If there are two consonants between two vowels, if I have two consonants between two vowels, I split between them except when the two consonants are digraph. Digraphs like TH, SH, CH. Okay, we'll see now. Examples, basketball. Okay, here I have between the two vowels in A, the vowels A and E, I have S and K. Here I can split the S and K, so I have two syllables, for example, basket, basket, and ball is alone. Basketball, basketball. Magnetic, magnetic. I have mag, net, and ek at the end. Okay? I split it between the two consonant letters. Gallop. Here I have double consonants, so it's easy for me to split between the double consonants. Gallop. Always keep digraphs. Always we have to keep the digraphs like the SH, TH, WH, CH, CK, and PH. And trigraphs like TCH together. We have to keep them together. We do not split between them. Example, rocket. Here I do not split between the C and K. No, I keep the C and K together. Rocket. Nutshell. Not shell. Okay, so you see the SH, they stay together. Hatchet. Hatch, here I have a trigraph, TCH, so I have to keep the TCH together. Hatchet. The third rule, consonant blends almost always stay together in a syllable, only when there are three consonants between two vowels. If I have a consonant blend, two consonant letters that make a blend, I keep them together. Unless I have three consonant blends, so I keep the first two together and I split between the second and the third consonant. Example, pumpkin, pumpkin. I split between the P and the K. Let's practice now a little bit. This is exercise A, page 17 in your ISI phonics booklet. First of all, let's read the words with the closed syllables. Dentist, jogger, restful, flatter, submit, Mustang, absent, handful, empire, blizzard, culture, plumper, summon, excite, kennel, valley, fragment, gallop, vulture, pigment, 100, 15, and goggles. Write the spelling words that contain the matching syllable patterns. The first syllable pattern says words divided between double consonant. First, in the first cloud, I have to put the words that must be divided between double consonants. The second one, I have to put the words that should be divided between different consonants or blends. Dentist, for example. Let's see the word dentist. Word dentist. If you notice that I have two consonant letters, different consonant letters, so I have to divide between them. Then test, so I have to put it in the second cloud. Okay, so dentist goes here. Then test, because I don't have double consonants. Okay, let's number this cloud 1 and this cloud 2, so it will be easier for us to solve them. Jogger. If you notice that I have double consonants, so I have to divide it between the double consonants, then I have to put it in cloud number 1. Restful. Restful. Here I have a blend, ST. So I have to divide between the T and F. Restful. I have to keep the blend together. So I cannot divide it between the ST. So I have to put it in the second cloud because I have a blend here. Number 2. Flatter. Flatter. I have double consonants. So I have to divide them. So I have to put it in the first cloud. Number 1. Submit. Submit, if you notice that we have B and M different, they do not make even a blend. I have different consonants, so I have to put it in the second cloud. And so on. I'm going to leave the rest of the words for you to solve them. And don't worry, we're going to solve the exercises together during the live session. Okay, guys, now let's move to our vocabulary words first, then to have an idea about the new theme. Our first vocabulary word is contact. Contact is a touching or meeting of things. When things or meet or touch together, or maybe we as a human, we have a contact with each other. When we touch each other, then there is a contact. Example, when I turned on the gas stove, the flame made contact with the metal pot. So if you notice in the picture that the flames are touching the pot, okay, so there is a contact between the pot and the flames. Second one is erode. What do you mean by erode? Erode means to wear or wash away very slowly. When a liquid, for example, especially washes away something very slowly, we say that it erodes. When storms erode the beach, they carry sand away from the shore. So you see, when storms, because of storms, we will have high waves, then the waves will touch the beach, okay, they will be in contact with the beach, and when they go back again, they will erode, they will wash away some of the sand. They will carry away some of the sand with them. Formation. A formation is something that is made or formed. So when you make something, you form it, so you make a formation. The marching band played in formation during halftime. They made a perfect formation. Moisture. Moisture is a slight wetness caused by water or another liquid. So when I have a little bit of wetness, then I have moisture. Okay, and it's caused by liquid. I knew it had rained when I saw drops of moisture on the leaves. So sometimes you wake up in the morning and you find that there are like small drops of water on, let's say, on the ground or on things, on wood, for example, or on flowers. So these are called moisture. Okay, they are slight wetness. Particles. What do you mean by particles? Particles are very small bits of pieces, very, very, very small, tiny bit of pieces. Okay? Tiny particles of sand floated in the light shining across the dunes. If you notice something while looking, if you're sitting, for example, and you notice that the sun rays are in front of your eyes, and you find like small particles or small things that are flying. They look, you see them when the light rays hit these particles. These small pieces, very small bits of pieces, are called particles. For example, particles of sand, particles of dust. Okay? Repetition. Repetition is saying or doing something over and over. So when you do or say something over and over again and again, then there is repetition. I do exercise in a repetition of 10 and hope to increase it to 20. So this girl is exercising and she makes repetitions. She repeats the cycle that she does in 10, then and she's hoping to make it in 20, to make a repetition in 20, for example. Structure. A structure is an arrangement of parts that fit together. So when we make an arrangement of parts that fit together, we make a structure. My little sister built a structure with blocks. So she made a structure, a shape with blocks. Visible. When something is visible, it can be seen. When I can see something, then I say it's visible. The boy's face was visible through the apartment window. Here I can see the boy's face through the window, so I can say that his face is visible. So now that we have explained the
Patterns.
vocabulary word, let's
Where
watch
can you
the
find
theme opener
patterns
to
in
have an idea
nature?
of the theme this week.
Patterns are everywhere in nature. Look at how the flight pattern of these birds and movement of the crashing waves mirror each other. Some creatures make patterns in their habitats, as this spider does with its web. Color patterns in some animals, such as zebras, offer protection through camouflage, while other patterns are just beautiful, such as the feathers of this peacock. Where else can you see patterns in nature?
So guys, from this video we know that we're going to talk about patterns in nature. What patterns of nature? Especially we're going to talk about, wait until we start with our reading lesson. Patterns of change. Let's see. Look at the picture. You will notice that we have mountains, sands, or rocks. So what do you think we're going to talk about? Which kind of patterns? Maybe rocks? Let's see. Rock, solid. Let's read the lesson together and try to figure out what kind of patterns the writer is trying to teach us. Rock solid. Solid as a rock is a saying often used to describe something that's reliable, that doesn't change. But in fact, rocks do change. The effects of water, wind, and temperature over long periods of time slowly transform one type of rock into another type of rock. So, from the very beginning, we know that the writer is talking about the patterns of rocks in nature. Let's see what the kinds and patterns of rocks we're going to learn about. These same forces also shape awe-inspiring landscapes and sketch designs on rock. Nature's patterns are visible in some rocks as small as pebbles and in wonders as vast as the Grand Canyon. The photograph across these pages shows one example of nature's art. This structure of rock, known as the wave formation, is made of sandstone. It is sand turned to rock over a long period of time. So the writer is trying to tell us how the patterns and the types of rocks and the sands change from time to time or over time. So this way the patterns change in nature. Igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are one type of rock. They are formed from hot liquid rock called magma. Magma exists far below the Earth's surface, but it sometimes escapes to the surface through cracks, such as the mouths of volcanoes. Then we call it lava. This molten rock or lava is composed of minerals. As the minerals slowly cool, they form crystals. Eventually, the once fiery liquid hardens into a solid substance. There are many kinds of igneous rock. Their textures and colors come from their crystallized minerals. You may be familiar with granite, which feels rough and comes in many colors. Another variety of igneous rock is obsidian, which is smooth and often black. Sedimentary rocks. Igneous rocks do not stay the same forever, so let's see how igneous rocks change. Water and wind erode them, carrying away particles of broken rock and depositing them elsewhere. These particles may be left on a beach or riverbank, in a desert or the sea. Gradually, the particles collect in layers. The contact between the particles and the weight of the layers squeeze out any pockets to moisture or air. Pressed together, the particles form a new material called sedimentary rock. It's formed from many different sorts of sediment. Sorts we mean types. It can include rocks and sand, as well as biological matter, such as plants, bones, and shells. Just as there are different kinds of igneous rock, there are different kinds of sedimentary rock. Sandstone is formed from sand. Limestone is composed of bones and shells. Rock formations. Over time, a layer can be created entirely of one kind of sedimentary rock. Geologists who study rocks call a layer made of the same material and at about the same time a stratum. Another stratum of different kind can be deposited on top of the first one. The plural for stratum is strata. Okay, so if you want to use stratum as a plural, you can say strata. Many strata of different kinds of rock can accumulate. Each one will press down on those that come before it. Scientists learn a lot by studying the chronology of layers. The oldest layer will be at the bottom, the youngest at the top. So, through the number of the layers, they can know the age of the layer because the oldest is the one at the bottom and the youngest or the newer we can say is newest is at the top. These layers of sedimentary rock can create dazzling patterns. Each layer will have its own texture and colors. Moreover, water and wind will continue to do their work. The rock cycle. Let's learn about the rock cycle. Still, rocks continue to change. There is a third type of rock below the Earth's surface called metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock. These rocks are pressed down upon by the layers of rock above them. At the same time, they are heated by the magma beneath them. Eventually, the heat will cause some metamorphic rock to melt and become magma. As the magma slowly cools, it will turn back into igneous rock. The repetition of this process is called the rock cycle. The rock cycle is a pattern of change that repeats and continues. It transforms liquid rock into a solid substance. It builds cliffs from sand and bones, and it returns rock to liquid form. So was our lesson, which is not complicated at all. Everything is direct. The writer is just giving you information and facts. So since the writer is giving us information and facts, the genre of our text is informational text or expository text, which is something that's not new. The selection patterns of change is expository text. Why? Because it explains a topic with reasons and evidence. It gives reasons and evidence. It supports reasons and evidence with facts, examples, and concrete details. It also includes features such as diagrams or timelines. It has diagrams here. If you notice, it gave us diagrams of rocks and diagrams of the rock cycle. It also supported the topic with facts and examples and specific details. Okay, it gave reasons and evidence. So here we have to say that our lesson is an expository text. Last thing is the main idea and key details. What do we mean by main idea and key details? Let's see. Every story or paragraph has a main idea. For sure, every time we have a paragraph or a text, I ask you, what's the main idea? What's the text is mainly talking about? Then I'm talking about the main idea. The main idea tells you what the story is about, the story or a text we mean here. The main idea may be the lesson learned or moral of a story if it's a story. Okay? The main idea is the most important part of a story or paragraph. So the most important part, we call it a main idea. If you have a story as a narrative story, then the main idea could be the lesson or the moral lesson that you learn. Main idea is like the heart of the text or a paragraph. It's the heart. It's the controlling idea, and all other supporting details in the text or within a paragraph should tell us more about the main idea. So the main idea is the heart of the text or a paragraph. The supporting details are the things that describe the main idea. They describe the main idea. These supporting details make the main idea stronger. How do I make my main idea stronger in my paragraph? I have supporting details. These are the steps that you follow to write a paragraph. So I also find them in any text or a paragraph I read. I should have a main idea and I should have supporting details. So let's have this short paragraph as a practice for the main idea and key details. Let's read it. Read the passage and choose the main idea and mention some key details. Niagara Falls is one of the most beautiful sites in North America. It's on the Niagara River halfway between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. Niagara Falls is located on the American and Canadian border. The American Falls is 167 feet high. On the Canadian side, the Horseshoe Falls is 161 feet high. Notice something that in most of the paragraphs or texts, you find out the main idea from the very beginning. So when you read the first sentence in the paragraph, you must figure out the main idea, because as you know that we mentioned the main idea in the topic sentence of a paragraph. So here we can know that the main idea is found in the first sentence. Niagara Falls is one of the most beautiful sites in North America. So my paragraph is talking about Niagara Falls and how beautiful they are. Okay, so the main idea here is Niagara Falls is one of the most beautiful sites in North America. How did I make my main idea stronger? By the supporting details. What are the supporting details here? Let's circle the main idea first. This is the main idea. This is the main idea, the first sentence. And the supporting details support this main idea. It's one of the Niagara River. It's on the Niagara River halfway between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. This is the first detail, one. Niagara Falls is located on the American and Canadian border. This is supporting detail two. And I even gave more details about how high each fall on each side is. Okay, the American Falls is 167 high. This is the third detail. The Horseshoe Falls 161 feet high. This is the fourth detail. So the main idea here is Niagara Falls, and uh, I even gave more details about it in the supporting details. Simple and easy. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that you have liked the lesson. Now it's time for you to go and solve worksheet 3, which includes exercises about the vocabulary words and about the lesson, plus the main idea and key details. Stay safe and bye bye.